Sure, everyone thinks that Russia is filled with bears, drunk people who like vodka, and like looting and pillaging. We don't see most Americans. I don't think of beautiful architecture, strong people, a strong culture. Like I don't think people think that. Tucker Carlson is doing more to prevent nuclear war than our own government, which is actively pushing us closer to not from us going past the Cold War to the hot war. And if you listen to Tucker here, he's going to tell us that we're in a hot war actively now and nobody's paying attention to it.
A week since we left Russia, Moscow, where we are now, in February after interviewing Vladimir Putin, we've watched from the United States as the Biden administration has driven the U.S. ever closer to a nuclear conflict with Russia, the country that possesses the world's largest nuclear arsenal.
If you don't know, I believe either America shot or gave the okay to shoot basically American missiles into Russia. I think Ukraine is the one who shot them in. But regardless, what are we doing right now? Hawaii's wrecked. Flint, Michigan doesn't have water. North Carolina's been swept away. Puerto Rico's filled with trash. What are we doing in a hot war?
It has accelerated ever since, and it's reached its apogee so far in the weeks after Trump's election. He's now the president-elect. In that time, just a few weeks ago, the Biden administration, American military personnel, launched missiles into mainland Russia and killed at least a dozen Russian soldiers.
What was I saying?
We are, unbeknownst to most Americans, in a hot war.
I mean, technically, he's not wrong. If we actually shot missiles into Russia and Atlanta and it killed Russian soldiers, we're literally at war with Russia right now. What is America doing?
With Russia, an undeclared war, a war you did not vote.
I want to go into the White House and look at the Biden administration and say, stop doing that. Stop.
Vote for, and that most Americans don't want, but it is ongoing. And because of that war, because of the fact that the U.S. military is killing Russians in Russia right now, we are closer to nuclear war than at any time in history.
Oh my God.
Far closer than we were during the Cuban Missile Crisis. That would mean the elimination of Russia, the United States, and most of the rest of the world.
Yeah, no, that's Fallout. That's the game Fallout. We've seen it. We saw the series. It was pretty good on Amazon. I don't want that to be our reality. I'm down with that being a web series and a game. Please, let's leave Mad Max as just a fiction. Let's not make this reality. I don't want this to be future sight of what's gonna happen. This is not like Omnipotence. This is not like All Might from freaking Bleach, where we could just see all the different futures. I don't want this future.
We felt there must be someone behind the scenes in Washington working to make sure that this conflict doesn't become a nuclear holocaust. But we found out that no, in fact, there is nobody. Tony Blinken, the current Secretary of State, cut off all contact between the U.S. and Russian governments. There is no back channel, there is no conversation, there hasn't been for more than 2 years. That's shocking. Meanwhile, most Americans have no access to any perspective other than that granted to them by NBC News and the New York Times. They don't know how close we are. They don't know the Russian perspective. We've been trying for over a year to get that perspective out to American news consumers.
For sure, everyone thinks that Russia is filled with bears, drunk people who like vodka, and like looting and pillaging. We don't see most Americans. I don't think of beautiful architecture, strong people, a strong culture. Like I don't think people think that.
We've also tried for over a year to get an interview with Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. We've attacked that from a bunch of different angles. We've spoken to a lot of different people around him, had dinner with them. We've been in talks continuously, and those efforts have been thwarted by the U.S. government.
Yeah, it's like you could do all the stuff to try to make peace, but when Biden and the administration are going out because they're going out like sore losers, just pouring gasoline and lighting a fire and throwing it on their way out, like what are we supposed to do?
American embassy in Kiev, which our tax dollars pay for, told the Zelensky government, no, you may not do the interview. You can talk to CNN, you can't talk to us.
Dude, it's like how is even CNN like a trusted news source now? How can we not trust people like this who have more views, who have more pull, who have more leverage, who have more credibility than CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, or any of these other mainstream media platforms?
So we've been unable to speak to him. So we came back to Moscow yesterday to interview the foreign minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, the longest serving foreign minister in the world. He's been a part of this government for 25 years. He's been in the diplomatic corps for over 40. And ask him, where exactly are we? Are we headed toward an unprecedented conflict between Russia and the United States?
It doesn't have to go nuclear, right? There's probably some like levels of escalation before it gets there. But where are we in that level of escalation? If we killed Russian soldiers in Russia, like, what is the retaliation going to look like?
Is there any way to peel Russia back from the east, from the sphere of China, back into the west? Is that alliance permanent? And does the
right now, what kind of alliance do we have if we're actively killing them and China is actively trying to work together to get a group of people? And it's not just China, it's BRICS, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, all of these places that have natural resources, that have the commodities that everyone wants, all the stuff that people export. They're coming together and say, yo, we're tired of getting screwed.
election of Donald Trump mean an end to this war, which is reshaping the world, the U.S. economy, the global economy, and risking the life of every person on this planet? Is that possible? We just walked out of that interview. It's absolutely fascinating. It's coming very soon. We hope you'll watch.
We will definitely watch. And if you notice, it was kind of nighttime. So presumably, this is Tucker the next day. There's no graffiti. There's no foul smells. There's no bums or drug addicts or rapists. Tucker Carlson compares the subway in Moscow to those in America. Something has gone horrifically wrong in the West, and people are still taking up notice and realizing it's been by design. I shouldn't say America is a great place, but it feels like these past 12 years we've had this stall in innovation and progress, and had this weird woke mind virus that maybe started in America but now has affected the freaking globe. And I'm glad to see that that virus is finally running its course and the people are waking up.
But it doesn't change the reality of what we saw, or more precisely, didn't see. There's no graffiti, there's no filth, there are no foul smells, there are no bums or drug addicts or rapists or people waiting to push you on.
Look at that mouse. That mouse is like, yo, I got cookout for 3 weeks now. I can eat at this for like a whole week.
Onto the train tracks and kill you. No, it's perfectly clean and orderly. And how do you explain that? We're not even going to guess. That's not our job.
People probably have personal respect for the culture and probably fear for the law.
We're only going to ask the question. And if your response is to shout at us slogans dumber than the slogans we used to call Soviet and mock, that's not really an answer. How does Russia, a country we're told is a gas station with nuclear weapons, have a subway station that normal people use to get to work and home every single day that's nicer than anything in our country? We're not going to speculate.
It's because our government and our freaking bureaucrats have been taking our tax dollars, lining their pockets, serving self-interest. That way, when they get out of a political position, then they can go into these high CEO positions at like BlackRock, Lockheed Martin, all of these positions and make buku amount of money. And the American people have been the byproduct of this, the product of this, and ultimately we are suffering from it because these people aren't even worried about keeping the promises. Just like we know from humankind, the only promises are broken promises. They keep lining up their pockets. It's all self-interest, and instead of using those tax dollars to actually help, they're taking it, they're siphoning it off, and now America is going downhill, and the people are finally realizing that this is just mad.
We're just going to raise the question and wait for someone in charge to give us an answer. What is the answer? So we'll stop the lecture and let you take a look for yourself at what the Kievskaya metro station in Moscow, Russia looks like today, February 2024, in the middle of a war.
So with this all being said too, I want to know what you guys think in the chat and the comments down below. Why do you think, from maybe an outsider's POV, why is America turning into like a third world country almost?
Here it is.
This is a subway? This looks like something out of Harry Potter. This is the everyday sub. This is every day. Yo, I feel like if you went to the subway, you'd have to pay for like VIP for an annual pass to get access to something like this. This is like the Delta Sky Lounge. Oh my god. Is that diversity too that I'm seeing here that's not forced in your face, that's just like naturally there? Oh my god. It's like if you pay respect to culture and people, it naturally fits instead of trying to force it down your face and say, this is right, this is virtuous, this is my morality. Beautiful mosaic. Yo. And I don't want to say it, but I haven't seen one obese person yet. No one looks like they need the plus size, walking like they're a penguin. Terrifying. I'm looking. I saw one husky person so far. 2. Out of all of that, 2 husky people. In America, only 2 people would have been non-husky. Wow. Wow. That's actually insane that's the everyday train trolley for the subway. It's unfortunately America could never. I don't understand. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, then please like the video, subscribe, and if you really like it, then share it with some of your friends. My goal here is to spread a positive message while sprinkling my 2 cents on big topics like American, Indian, and world geopolitics. And even small stuff like Twitch drama and online debacles. And if you want to see it live, come join me over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ActuallyElrod. That's where I'm going to do all my reactions. And after the reactions, that's where we get down a game. And if you're like, hey, I have a video that I want this dude to sprinkle his 2 cents on, then come over on my Discord and let me know and join the community there. And while we're at it, I have to say thank you to everybody who has made that Discord just so poppin'. I never thought I'd have a Discord that's so flowing. It's really cool to see. Shout out to you, Bobby, Omni, Demon, all of you who have been in there who are just super active. Logie, you're the man. Logie is the one who's like modding and helping run the server, so thank you, Logie. Lastly, I challenge you. I have a challenge for you. Make somebody laugh today. We all know there's enough hate and vitriol in the world. If energy is contagious like the flu, then let's spread and get everyone contagious with our positive energy, right? Not negative energy, because there's so much of that, and if we could just be a small little change in someone's day, then you never know. Maybe that's the thing that starts shifting this world to a happier, healthier, just better place. And with all that said and done, thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.